All right, it's 7 o'clock. We're going to call to order the January 22nd Town Board meeting. And the first item on the agenda is approval of the agenda. Patrick, changes, deletions?
Yes, Mr. Chair, if it pleases the board, there are no additions. However, you did receive a supplement to item 8B. You will note for approving an ordinance number 54, fees and charges. There is an addition you will see highlighted in your supplement.
Can we, Mr. Chair, can we add at the end, a decision that we need to make on our website as far as our mission, values, and vision statement? Shouldn't take very long.
So we're going to go 9A, mission statement.
Yeah. You're done with it.
All right, is that it?
That's it.
I'll move to approve with the addition.
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? That motion carries. All right, item number 3, approval of the bills. I just finally signed them all. Did you?
Yes, I looked at those and moved to approve payment of the bills.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Motion's made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed? That motion carries. Item number 4, the approval of the minutes of January 8th.
I saw-
6th.
I saw no changes, moved to approve.
Second that.
Motion's made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? That motion carries. Item number 5 is consent agenda. We only have one. Everybody okay with it?
I am good, so I will move to approve the consent agenda as submitted.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? That motion carries. Item number 6 is old business. This is concerning Stillwater Street, 2105. Who's going to do this? Patrick or
Mr.
Mike, are you
Johnson.
going to handle this?
Yes, 2105 Stillwater Street, was a public hearing back on November 18th to consider demolishing the dwelling. Property's been in a nuisance condition for several years. November 18th, public hearing. Board heard from the neighbors and a representative of the property. And at that time, there was a resolution ordering the abatement of the nuisance violations. The second page of the resolution had a list of repairs needed to the property on the property exterior. There has been no significant progress of completion of the requested repairs. Town board requested that the town hold another public hearing, to call that hearing tonight. The soonest public hearing could be February 19th, to consider how the town will move forward on that item.
Mike, to your knowledge, there's been no, the electrical hookup has not been done to, or the power, or whatever he was going to do there?
Yeah, I've seen very little work being accomplished on the property. Back around the date of the public hearing, the property owner or representative did install one window and put some house wrap on the east side of the building, and that was all that I could see.
So he made this deal that he had a date with XL Energy to hook up electric and gas to the place. It's not happened.
I'm not aware that any
Okay,
of those
good.
connections were made.
Sad, but good.
So, Mike, there's like 15 bullets on this page of things that needed to be completed, roughly. Do you have any idea of how many have actually been done? I think you said one.
I would say the list still is completely outstanding.
So of the 15 required repairs, 0 have been completed.
Correct,
And this was what was shared during the public hearing.
correct.
Mr. Chair, if I may, I had a telephone call from the gentleman I believe it was last Thursday. And I'm sure Mike has heard this story before. He couldn't get a hold of Mike. He was going to do things, and he wasn't sure what he had to do. Bottom line is, I think that the conversation lasted about 25 minutes. And I did inform him that he should be here tonight.
Well, that was just one of my questions for Mike, if he was notified.
Well, all I can tell you is on the telephone call, I informed him he should be here tonight.
And I did get a phone call from someone who may be representing him legally, asking if he should be in attendance tonight because the owner of the property was not going to be here.
So did you tell him yes?
So it was up to him.
And I guess he didn't do it. Okay.
I don't see anyone here.
So Chad, this sounds like he's gonna have legal representation.
Yeah, my recommendation would be this, and I hate to do this, but I think it'd be safe, is if you decide to abate the property, raise it, we should get a court order allowing, approving it and allowing the township to go forward.
So let me ask you this question, and it was a question that was asked from me, from this gentleman today, is that if between now and when the public hearing is set, there are significant accomplishments on Mike's list, what happens at that point?
Well, the board has the authority to obviously delay any further action.
I don't think anybody wants to see the house torn down, and if there's significant, and significant is to be determined, I would think we would all agree, keep it going. We
Sure.
want to see an improved house. But what's significant? There's 15 items, none of them been accomplished. Is significant half of them? 2?
And we're already, have given him, what, 2 months now?
Yeah.
Well, significant, to be honest with you, significant is really up to your discretion, strictly up to your discretion. Well, not completely up here to discretion, but to a great extent it is.
Sure.
But it sounds like it's a moot point because nothing's been done.
Well, and without belaboring it, as far as tonight goes, I think we have to call the public hearing to keep
I
the
agree.
process moving forward.
Totally agree.
And if things change in the meantime, we can cancel it, right? Like you said, so it's in our control.
Did he happen to identify who the attorney gave you his name at all?
Yeah, Peter Frank,
Peter Frank.
it's in Whiteberry.
Well, all I'm saying, if this looks like it's gonna go into
Well,
a,
Peter Frank?
Yeah.
Okay.
if this looks like it's gonna go into a legal battle, then we just keep continuing with our course.
I think we
Yes.
have to.
Yep.
Because there's certain timeframes that we have to follow, and I think it's important to keep that going. To Chad's point, if we have something in place, we can always decide to push it off. We can't speed up the process, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I agree with you.
So that was
Though,
February
if we
19th, Mike?
defer it, I'm sorry, Mr. Chair.
That was February 19th?
The public hearing, the next available public hearing, yes, would be February
Chad's
19th.
got something to say.
If you do decide to defer, you'd better explicitly state why you're deferring it.
Okay.
What has to be done to, what the basis for the deferral is and what you're expecting the property owner to do.
You're talking about between now and the public hearing?
Well, no.
Formal record, or
No.
you're saying if we
Well,
decide to defer it tonight?
You've actually already abated the nuisance already. You've already adopted one resolution abating it.
Yes.
So you're actually deferring,
The-
at this point, you are deferring. So I guess you simply have to send a letter to them saying, there's another hearing scheduled for 2/19/2000. If you wish to contact, you can contact the building official and discuss, you have the list of work that has to be done. Here's my recommendation, we tell them. You have the list of work that has to be done. There is another hearing scheduled for February 19th, 2000. You have the right to appear. And the town board has the authority to reconsider further action on the property. In fact, actually leave it at that. And, Well, I would suggest that we say if you, now we're getting into a quagmire here.
Getting into, I think
Well,
we've been in
do
one.
we need to,
No.
do we need to have the letter drafted tonight? I mean, the idea is we'll send a letter out.
That's a good point. How about, I'll just have a letter ready for the exec meeting to discuss.
Because,
So that's a week.
you know, I mean, the minutes from the last meeting said the motion to adopt the resolution ordering abatement of the nuisance violation at that address, noting that the repair order to be completed in the resolution must be done within 30 days from the date of service of the resolution. I mean, so we've already told him
Yep.
that the line was drawn, and there's been nothing.
Yep.
So, whatever that helps you with your letter, I mean, I think the statement that no one wants to see the house totally torn down if there's a way to get around it, but,
Well, Chad, where does this court order come in then?
Well,
see you,
the
Bill.
the purpose of the
Thanks,
court order
Bill.
is simply affirming the action you've taken. So what you're saying is that the court would affirm that you've followed all the proper procedures to abate the nuisance.
When should we do that?
Well, since we have another hearing scheduled for February 19th after that hearing.
I think you have to set the hearing tonight, officially, right?
We don't, we really, backing up for a second, we don't have to have another hearing, do we? If we act on what our resolution was?
I don't think so, because you already,
My recollection is that the December executive meeting, we talked about this. And the thought was, based on your prior experience, that we should allow a second chance just to make sure that everything was covered. And that we could demonstrate to any judge that would be hearing this that we had really tried our best to work, but there just was no response. If we don't need a second hearing, I don't know that it's going to be any different than the first hearing. So if we, leaving that hearing aside for the moment, you suggested that we get a court order. Is there a time frame involved with that? Is there any hearing with that?
well, I mean, yeah, you get if you're applying for a court order, you're gonna have to serve them with a complaint,
Okay,
and they'll have the right to answer it.
okay.
And then after that point, you'll have to schedule a hearing, so just given the standard time frame for a hearing in Ramsey County, you're probably, I don't know, 60 days out.
Well, isn't it to our advantage then to issue that court order
Yes.
tomorrow?
I
Yeah,
think we should.
Well, probably is apply for the court order right away, yeah.
And that'll, if he is represented, I mean, it will flush out his representation and his arguments.
And one thing that could happen, once you start the action, you can always reach a settlement with them.
Yeah.
And if they don't make, then you're really covered. You start the court action, you reach a settlement with them, and if they don't follow the terms of the settlement, then you're covered.
if they don't follow the terms of the settlement, would we have to start over again?
No.
Or would we get could it proceed from that point
Part
forward?
of the settlement would be that if they do not meet these terms, then the town has the right to proceed with, Mike, I assume at this point, we're talking about raising the property, correct? Demolition,
Yes.
then that would be the hammer. If you don't do A, B, and C, then we're gonna do D, and D is we tear the house down.
All right, so it would be,
We should,
Okay.
keep on the legal timeline and move forward.
one,
Chad,
Let's just stay on the legal time frame and move forward.
I would think that we might want to not do this second hearing, get the
No.
court order
Right.
going, because we're going to have a hearing anyway.
I'd move to do that.
have a second?
I'll second that.
All right, you get that, Megan? Okay, because, this is, I don't know how many more, we can't just keep kicking this one down the road either. We got to do something here. Like I said, no one wants to get this,
No.
the township as a whole doesn't want to be this harsh to one of our residents, but
So if I get a call from the owner's representative tomorrow asking about the course that the town board has chosen, we are going to be obtaining a court order, which is usually 60 days.
Yeah.
And during that time, he has 60 days to improve the property. And if it's
Well-
not improved, well,
Yeah.
the date of whatever the court order may end
No,
up
I wouldn't
being.
even tell he has the right to, he has the right to improve the property, say, whereas, the board authorized court action to confirm the board's decision, and that ultimate decision, and ultimately, what the relief that will be sought, it will be demolition of the property.
Yes, and it's up to him to find his legal recourse for what remedy
Well,
he
yeah,
wants.
and then trying to reach a settlement.
Because we don't want to just kick it down the road by saying, okay, well, you're representing him, we'll just kick it down the road. Now
No.
that, we need to proceed forward.
Okay.
We're looking for actual demonstrated activity.
You're not getting any.
Well, he may, now, if he has representation, the lawyer is there to advise him of the best approach to resolve this, and I would assume it's either sell it as is and get out of it, or fix it to meet the township's needs.
Right.
I mean, he's got to give him some advice.
Okay.
I don't know what else there is, but.
Yeah, we can't really offer that advice to him. He's
No,
gonna have to make
it's not
that
ours.
decision on his own.
Yes.
That's a good point. Okay.
All right, so Mike, moving on, public hearing number 7, we have none. So item 8, new business. Building inspector item, fourth quarter construction report.
One second.
All right, 2019 construction activity report in your pamphlet there, in your packet, the final numbers for 2019. In December, town issued 2 new home permits, just under $700,000 in valuation, which brings a total of 10 new homes in 2019, just over $3.4 million in evaluation. Compared to 2018, there was 13 new home permits issued, just over $3.5 million in evaluation. Miscellaneous residential permits, total for the year is 573, just over $6.6 million in construction valuation, compared to last year, 2018, 561 residential building permits, just under $7.1 million in evaluation. Commercial construction, 2019, total of 16 building permits were issued, just over $2.6 million in evaluation. Compared to commercial construction in 2018, there was 22 permits issued, just under $4.5 million in evaluation. Brings us to permit totals. Total of 603 building permits, $12.7 million in valuation, compared to last year, 598 permits, with just under $15.1 million in construction valuation.
Mike, before you move on, how do you calculate valuation? Is that based on the sale price of the home, or how?
Just basically a per square foot value on whatever type of project it is.
Okay.
So the ones that are sticking on that, so the land value is not included in it, it's just the cost of the structure.
That's
by a square
correct.
foot
The
basis.
lot value is not part of the valuation of the,
And pretty much the single-family homes, the Three Oaks project, are they townhome, considered townhome? Are these two from there, or are these?
yeah, so,
Are Are you
Yes,
close?
the two that were issued in December were for 3 Oaks.
And those, are those town? they
Yeah,
call
that's
those- Yeah,
single-
so single-family townhomes are, it's all the
Yeah,
same, pretty much?
Yeah, I
Okay.
guess it doesn't really,
Matter to you?
as far as the permit fees and the valuations, doesn't really make any difference whether it's a single family or a townhome, but they are classified as a single family home in a PUD, so.
So a square foot cost for a lower-end townhome is the same as the square foot cost of a $1 million house per foot?
Yeah, so the town doesn't have a wide range of different varieties of homes. They're all pretty much in the $90 per square foot range
All right.
is kind of your basic number you're looking at.
When do you reevaluate that number?
Um,
Because right now, 90 sounds awful cheap.
yeah, from time to time, it has been at the same, the worksheet that is used to determine evaluation
Okay.
has been in use for over 5 years.
Because I know we're going to talk about permit costs later, but I was just kind of curious when I was going through that on how this would be affected, or wouldn't it?
Actually, no, so the fee schedule that town currently uses, and I believe is proposed in the new fee schedule, was taken out of the 1997 Uniform Building Code. That was the last building code that had a fee schedule in it. Past that edition of the building code, the state code no longer has a fee schedule. Each municipality is, needs to determine their own fee schedule.
All right. Didn't mean to sidetrack you there, I was just kind of curious.
Just have a couple of quick charts here. This one here goes over the total permits the last 10 years. Last 4 years have been pretty consistent. We had a jump there in 2015, and the last 4 years have been pretty consistent. From each quarter also, pretty equal across the board. This is a pie chart just breaking down all the permits. The numbers in the original figures were strictly building permits. These are all the permits the town issues: zoning, plumbing, electrical. And it shows the number. Last half of the year, the building permits are about half of the permits we issued, where in the first 2 quarters they're, a third approximately. That's all I had on the construction activity.
Got any questions? No? All right, good job, Mike. You'll be keeping in contact then with Chad on the Stillwater Street issue?
I will.
When's the last time you actually spoken to him?
It's been some time now. I believe it was right before we discussed it at the last executive meeting. They did submit their vacant building fee. That was reported to the board on the last executive meeting. The fee came in, but none of the registration has followed, none of the paperwork has followed yet. So.
All right, thanks, Mike.
Before we leave the issue of the Stillwater property, Megan, did the board adopt a resolution directing me to commence legal action? All right, just want to verify.
Yeah, it was a motion to start the court order, or?
Yeah, I just want to make sure.
Yeah, I think I moved and Scott seconded.
Okay. I happen to know this attorney, that's why I want to make sure.
Oh,
No, tonight. Thank you, Megan.
all right, moving on.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike. Item 8B, Ordinance number 54. This is the ordinance that covers fees and charges.
Yep, Mr. Chair, I did get these out to you last meeting just for your review, so we wouldn't be springing these on you instantly. So I had Karen just kind of do an evaluation or an analysis of where we are comparatively speaking with our fee structure around the metro, and God bless it, I don't have the list of places that she actually called. But what you have in front of you is proposed for your consideration. It also helps us proceed with getting most of this stuff on our website for electronic processing. So, with that, I would submit to you and take whatever discussion you might have regarding them at this point.
Well, I just ran some quick numbers on this for on page 27.
Okay?
Your range from 1 to 6, those columns,
Yep.
it looks like they're all about a 20% increase. But then line item 7, which is $500,000 to $1 million, that's a 62% increase for that permit fee.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last one, the 5 million and up, it's a 13%, and the 1 million to 500 is 31%. So I'm curious, is the first 7 are going up 20%, the bottom 3 are all over the board. 62%, 31%, and 13%. 62 is a huge jump, and that kind of hits our housing market. If a lot of these houses are going for 650, so that's a big jump for one permit in 1 year.
If I may.
Go
Keep
ahead.
in mind that your permit fees need to reflect your actual costs incurred.
Well,
And I would presume, that Mike can comment on this, but that, doesn't make a difference what type of, or how much how much is being spent on the improvement, the amount of time spent is probably the same.
Well, but then why would all of them be 20, some less than 20, and all of a sudden just one jumps out at
Because
62%?
maybe, well, I'm just guessing that, when's the last time we updated these?
Been a while.
It's been a long time.
Yep.
So they may just been out of whack for
A
quite a
long
while.
time.
If she's done some research on this, I'm assuming.
I want to say it was 1999.
That still doesn't explain to me why of all these ranges of permits, one of them jumped 62%. Well, mainly it's 20% increase. That's all I'm asking. It just seems like it's way out of,
What was that again?
something's out of whack.
Which one are you looking at, Ed?
From 500,000 to $1 million, they show an example of 850,000.
Yep,
Goes from 3,500 to 5,800.
yep.
That's a 62% jump. Where the rest of them are just about 19, 20%.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Well, that's why I was wondering why this one stuck out.
I sure could find out for you, Ed.
It just seems a little like that one range is kind of lopsided.
Okay?
And like I said, we're just talking about evaluations, that kind of hits our housing market. All of a sudden, now these guys are going to be charging 62% more for a building permit?
Probably the question is, they have to talk to Mike and find out how much time is spent, I mean.
Or is this just a screw up on pulling the numbers? I don't know.
I think it is, Ed, I think it is a big jump in that market because it's getting current. Because that is a market that is, I would probably guess, in higher percentage now.
You had mentioned that you had thought you had the areas that had been contacted just
Yeah.
for
Thought
comparison.
I thought I had the list with me.
Maybe that would be helpful to find out what do the other areas.
Yeah, something looks skewed
Yes,
here.
And I think in today's White Bear Press that came out, I think it's the city of White Bear just adopted, or Matamita, one of the two adopted updated fee schedules also. So if they, gradation-wise, if they break it out the same, we should be,
Close.
Close.
Yep.
So, if you think we need to.
Yeah, like I said, I don't have any problem with everything I've gone through here, is what we're doing here. Just that one particular range, it just seems like that's something wrong.
Well, let me look into it.
All right. Well, it's not, do we have to adopt this
Do
tonight,
we
or?
need to table this, or is that going to mess up the,
You can table it.
I know you've got a certain schedule in order to get things
We
on.
do, but, I mean, basically, we're kind of taking a leap here, and actually, to be honest with you, if you just got one that's an issue, I feel pretty good about it moving forward, so I did direct Karen to get going on it. One isn't gonna screw up our time schedule, but I can find out the reasoning behind it for you, Ed,
All right,
so.
So we're gonna proceed with this then? I mean, the resolution? That's fine.
You can proceed with the resolution with the rest of them.
well, I think we can take the whole resolution, just making an amendment to verify this one
Yeah.
range. This $500 to $1 million increase.
Sure. And I can get a memo out to you in advance of the executive board.
Okay,
But if you did adopt the rest of them, that would sew it up for us.
all right, any other questions or comments on this scheduling? Well, you know, I did have one more. It wasn't in the,
No, you already used yours.
it was in our packet, but it wasn't on the, in our packet there. It's mixed solid waste collection. That had to do with the food going to the landfill? Or
Yes.
what is that?
That's what it is.
Okay, so why is there a $200 fee? What is that?
$200 fee. What are you looking at?
I don't know if you want to send it down.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, you find it?
Yeah.
I'm not sure what that is. Is this something we're charging, we're not charging the residents? Is it something we're charging
Yeah,
Republic?
this is under business.
So are we charging Republic for that license, or what is that?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, should probably make that clear.
Well, no, I know the residents don't pay for it.
No,
All right.
we certainly could bill you, Ed, if you'd like.
Thanks. You know, they'll just be dropping it off at my house. All right, Steve, you got anything else?
Nope. I think we've covered it.
Nope.
All right, so we're looking for a motion to approve the fee and charges.
Amendment with reconsideration for price range or building range of 500,000 to 1 million.
Yes,
Correct.
I'll move to approve the ordinance number 54, fees and charges amendment, subject to the statement just made by the town clerk treasurer.
I will second that.
Motion's made, second, all fair, say aye.
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 All opposed? That motion carries. Item number 9A, we have,
You got another one there.
Nope. Got second.
oh, never mind. God, just too fast with the pen.
I'll make a motion to adopt the resolution establishing certain fees and charges in the town of White Bear.
I will second that.
All right, that motion's made, second, all in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, motion to adjourn. Oh, nope. All right, item 9A, Steve, you want to cover this, or?
Yeah, real quickly. Probably about 3 years ago, the town board went to a lot of work to establish our mission, vision, and values. And when we updated our website, we really never addressed how we want our citizens to see that. And I'm working with Karen at the township offices, and there's a couple options here. And she'd like to move forward with that, and I told her I'd bring it forward tonight to see the option. The first option is to have on the website displayed so that all citizens can just click on the tab that says mission, vision, and values, and they can read them. The other is a little more discreet, and it's under the town board area. I'd prefer to have it published on the website where they can click on it and have it. That'd be my preference, but it's kind of springing it on you. If you want to table it, that's fine too.
Well, no, that's a good idea. I guess I never really looked for it on the webpage.
Well, you know, as people move into the community, they like to know what we're about, and we have it on our documents that we send out, but we don't have it on our website where it's easily accessible. So I think we need to get that taken care of. It's just an oversight at this moment.
Which makes sense to you? Whether to click one and get them both, or click them independently, it looks like, right?
If they put it, yeah, I mean, if it's here, it's like a tab. They just click on it and
Yeah.
it'll bring up those three and they can see that. This is where we're trying to send all residents for all the information about the township, including these, what we just talked about, fees and permits. We want everybody to be, kind of make it more transparent, and so I'm just trying to figure out what's the best way to make our mission, vision, and values more transparent.
From my perspective, I like option 2.
Okay?
It kind of groups everything together. You've got the town board, then you have the form of government and our vision, mission, and values. It kind of syncs them up together.
Do you have a preference?
Fine?
I like to.
just-
Okay,
Okay.
we're counting on you to carry this through to Karen.
No, he'll take it back tomorrow. Option 2.
Option 2. Okay,
All right, we don't need formal
no,
action on it, do we?
no.
All right, takes care of item 9A. Item 10 is open time. Mike, got anything else?
We'd sure love to hear from you.
All right, hearing none. Item 11, I need a motion to receive agenda materials and supplements.
So moved?
Second?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The motion carries. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor, say aye.
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 We are adjourned at, I'm guessing, 7:35. I don't know what that clock is.
7:36.
Okay.
Half hour later than last.